I wanted to make this video to discuss the current leaderboard situation in Clash Royale and give my overall thoughts on it. Now, what I'm going to say isn't just going to apply for this season, it's going to apply for many future seasons as well, and it's already been in effect for many seasons prior to this. Now, to explain to you guys what I mean by all of this, currently, it is October 5th, 2025. There is about 10 hours left of the current season, and let's go over the leaderboard standings in the top 10, shall we? We have Mohamed Light in first, Mohamed Light in fourth, Mohamed Light in fifth, and Mohamed Light in sixth. So he has 4 accounts that are in the top 10. Now, in no way am I criticizing Mohamed Light. I think he's the current GOAT of the game, and he will probably be the best player of all time for many years to come. What I'm trying to say is when you have a person with 4 accounts in the top 6, I think that's a little bit unfair. There are a finite amount of spots in the top 10, and in the top 100, and in the top 1000. By getting 4 accounts in the top 6, that means he's taking away badges that could have been given to other players who also worked equally as hard to get to those positions. What I'm trying to say is that I don't think Mohamed Light has done anything wrong here. I just think there should be something implemented to avoid having people with like 4 accounts in the top 6. Because how is that fair to other players who also want to compete? So it would be nice if Clash Royale imposed something like you can't have more than 2 accounts in the top 10 or like the top 100 or something along the lines of that. Because I just think having, for example here, 4 accounts in the top 6 is taking away from other players who are also trying to get high ranking spots, but can't because you're dominating and you have 4 accounts in the top 6. I think there should be room for other players who work equally as hard to have a chance of getting high rank finishes. And I'm not the only one who thinks like this. This guy called Newbie made a tweet. He's a top ladder player with like 4,200 followers. Made a tweet here saying delete multiple account many times, or rework at least. And he attached a tweet of this guy called Hypno. I've heard of him before, also a top ladder player. He had 6 accounts with 3,700 medals. So he was from 2nd place to 7th place were all this guy's accounts. 6 accounts with at least 3,700 medals each. This guy made a really good point in the replies. In itself, you can have multiple accounts, but you need to reduce it to 1 account per player in ranked mode. I completely agree with this. 1 or 2 max. I think any more than that, you're just taking away from people who also want to get top ranked finishes. And there's also contrasting opinions like this guy Nate. He is a top ranked player. He is an OG of the game. No, I somewhat agree that having 6 accounts on top ladder is a bit much, but considering Hypno does this full time, this is okay, but I wouldn't do this if you don't do content. Like, I agree for people who do content, it's like you have to do this because sometimes if you're like too high in ladder, the queue times for games takes like way too long. But I personally think like this is just insane. This is like complete insanity. Do you know how many people probably have worked just as hard or harder than Hypno to try and achieve spots like this? But no, because this guy is unemployed and does YouTube full time, he has the ability to get 6 accounts in the top 10. What's wrong with multiple accounts? As long as they aren't being used to win trade, then I see nothing wrong with this. Just someone who has a lot of time, just someone who has a lot of free time to do this. Look, I get this, but the key issue is that this guy having 6 accounts in the top 10 is taking away from other people who also want to be in the top 10, but because you're unemployed and have a lot of free time on your hands, you can do this and they can't. Now, going back to Mohamed Light, I completely understand why he has 4 accounts in the top 6, because imagine you're like number 1 and number 4. The queue times for those games are unbearably long. But Mohamed Light, he doesn't really post on his YouTube channel anymore. Like, he really just does it for the sake of doing it. If we can see here, he hasn't uploaded in 7 months. So then what's the point of having 4 accounts in the top 6 if you're not even going to be a content creator? You haven't uploaded in 7 months. I just don't get it. Now, I understand that for many people like Mohamed Light, Clash Royale is how they make their money. But if you're not even going to make content, why bother having 4 accounts in the top 4 just for the sake of it? Those other 3 spots could have gone to people who deserve it just as much as you. So in conclusion, I believe that there should be change to this. I personally would make it so that a player can't have more than 2 accounts in ranked, or maybe more than 2 accounts in the top 100 or the top 1000, something like that. Because there's a finite amount of ranked spots, and people like Mo and Hypno having like 6 or 4 accounts in the top 10 takes away from other people who also work just as hard as them to get their account into a top ranked position. All I'm saying is that there needs to be change, and I hope that one day Clash Royale does look at this and say, oh, well, maybe this whole multiple accounts thing does need a little bit of a rework. No hate to any of these guys, I think all their finishes are deserved, but I do think all these alts are taking away from players who also work just as hard, if not harder, to achieve top ranked finishes, but don't have an abundance of free time like these pro players do, because they play Clash Royale every day, all day, because it's their job. So those are just my thoughts on all these alt accounts in top ladder. I do think something should be done about this sooner or later, because I do think other players should be given a chance to get top ranked finishes. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. No hate to any people mentioned in this video, I'm just voicing my opinion. Leave a comment letting me know what you guys think of all this. Do you guys think that alts should be permitted in top ladder, or should they be completely banned from ranked? Like, what do you guys think? I personally think more than 2 should not be allowed. That's going to be it for today's video. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.